Hey YouTube, Coppersan here. Today we're trading the Remastered Dark Knight to level 200. This class has had some amazing changes with the Destiny update, greatly improving their bossing and their stats, making this class a great bossing mule for those looking for one. Our journey begins in the dump site, we're beating up some hoodlums. Getting started on this class is actually quite a challenge. After you reach level 30 and you're done with the tutorial, you're left with no mesos and no spear or polearm. So you'll have to try to get either mesos or a weapon yourself, else you just cannot use your second job skills. Great start of the game, MapleStory developers. We are not burning today, so trading to level 200 took about 6 hours, including a few small breaks here and there. I'm currently uploading the full trading clip to the clip channel, link to that in the video description. It might take a while for the clip to be up though, YouTube isn't that fast when it comes to uploading 6-hour-long videos. These were the links that I was using, and I'm on my main account, so I also have 8k Legion. This is mostly buffing my damage percentages, critical rate and critical damage, so I'll be a lot stronger than other Maples without that many links in Legion, do keep that in mind. Thanks to their second job weapon mastery skill, Dark Knights get a +1 attack speed and 5% damage boost when they equip a spear, so I would just go for a spear if you're leveling up this class. Grinding in second job is done with your spear sweep and evil eye shock skills. Both have decent range and grinding shouldn't be that hard. You'll also learn the hyper body buff that increases HP and MP for yourself and iron wall. For this skill I still have no clue why it wasn't remastered. This skill at max level increases your defense by a massive 270. Which is just about as much as my 10-star Pencilier cape, so yeah, it's super useless. You'll also get a new body this job advancement, your Evil Eye. This little eye, when summoned, recovers 20 HP every 24 seconds. There is a hyper skill that increases that healing, but it always felt as if this skill was also forgotten by Nexon. The beginner recovery skill heals 72 HP over 30 seconds, so healing wise your beginner skill is more powerful than your Evil Eye. But hey, if the Evil Eye is out, you can start using your Evil Eye shock skill, so there's that. Riding wise, I went to the Boars and later to Skeledogs in Perion. I was not feeling like doing any more theme dungeons on this character. Also, I am using a totem when I'm grinding. You can purchase this item in the reward store section of the cash shop to boost the monster spawn rate. It will make leveling go significantly faster. I'm also using a double EXP buff from the Legion store. In third job, the Berserker as it's called now, will get some really amazing buffs that will make plenty of other classes pretty jealous. Your cross search buff passively increases your final damage by 50% and you can add another 20% on top of that if you're using the buff. This buff will only be in full effect once you have more than 50% of your HP. However, keeping your HP up is no problem thanks to your Lord of the Darkness passive skill. You'll recover 2% of your HP with every attack, and the skill also increases critical rate by 30% and critical damage by 8%. This class gets a lot of critical rate buffs. For example, the Hex of the Evil Eye skill increases your critical rate by another 10% and attack and magic attack by 40%. This buff does work on party members, but the effects are half for them. Those are some great passives and buffs for this class overall though, already in third job. Grinding in third job is done with La Mancha's spear. You can no longer spin to win this spear, it's just a regular attack now. And your Evil Eye shock will get an upgrade, increasing in range and in damage. Thanks to the Evil Eye of Domination, your Evil Eye can also roam around freely and attack monsters on its own. It ain't amazing, but hey, you know, damage is damage. And of course you get your standard rush skill. This skill has some weird additional text that I couldn't really figure out. If you continuously press and hold the key, last up to 0 seconds, attack with 0% damage when you release the key. What? I tried mashing it, I tried holding it, but nothing out of the ordinary seemed to happen. Not sure what that's supposed to be all about. Grinding went rather smooth. Of course Legion link skills are helping out, but I could still one-shot monsters, which isn't something that goes for every class that I grind. Dark Knights spiked pretty early thanks to their big third job advancement buffs and passives. And that's when I met Sukum and he helped me get to fourth job. He was so kind. Skynest 2 in Leafrill, where I usually go to, only had burning stage 7. Disgusting. I guess there really are more Maples in EU Reboot nowadays. So instead I had to resort to go to Skynest 3 in Leafrill, which still had 10 burning in every channel. Now that's more better. By the way, don't forget to claim your emblem from the quest from the light bulb at the left side of the screen and purchase a secondary in the store in Leafrill while you're close to it. Since we're not burning, we aren't getting anything for free, you know. So in fourth job, Dark Knights get even more ridiculous stat boost. There is a passive 30% final damage boost and 10% critical rate and 15% critical damage damage boost. If your HP is above 20% thanks to the final pact skill, your Weapon Master increases critical damage by another 15%, and your Dark Resonant buff increases your final damage by another 10% and gives bonus IED and boss damage. And then there's also hyper skill passives that increase your final damage by another 5% and critical rate by another 20%. Great for those low on Legion Link skills. I already reached 75% critical rate with just my own skills. The final pact skill is also your big invincibility frame skill, but I'll explain that a bit later when we go take this class bossing. Grinding in 4 job is done with Dark Impale. You'll be using the final buffed form of the Evil Eye Shock and your level 160 hyper skill Nightshade Explosion a lot when you're grinding. Both your Evil Eye Shock and Nightshade Explosion skill will have short cooldowns and can be used every 10 and 12 seconds. Your level 140 hyper skill is a buff that increases attack power by 80 and makes you recover 9% of your max HP when attacking. This buff does last only for 30 seconds and has a 120 second cooldown. Gunny's Descent is your bossing skill. You'll only be using this when you go bossing. It passively ignores a portion of the enemy defense and it deals increased damage based on your max HP. When grinding, I actually never had to use any HP potion thanks to all our passive healing, and the short cooldown big attacks together with your high base stats make grinding with this class pretty good, even though your main mobbing attack, Dark Impale, doesn't have the biggest of ranges. In 5th job, Dark Knights can unlock their full potential of their Evil Eye with their Radiant Evil Eye. This is a 20-second cooldown attack that deals decent damage and ignores a portion of the enemy defense. Your other short cooldown attack is called Spear of Darkness. This 10-second cooldown attack shoots out a massive spear damaging enemies, and you can change the direction of this skill with the arrow keys. Dark Knights also take 10% less damage from percentage-based HP attacks when they're casting this skill. Your big burst skill are Calamitous Cyclone and Darkness Aura. The Cyclone attack is a key down skill that also recovers HP with every hit, of course, and deals a big chunk of damage. This skill will always crit and ignores 50% of the enemy defense. Your Darkness Aura also attacks enemies periodically and saps their life force, recovering HP with every attack, and once you're fully healed, you'll overheal. You'll gain a shield based on the additional amount. You can also use the skill again to unleash your Darkness Waifu, who deals some crazy amounts of damage. When Dark Knights go bossing, they then use their Accept Final Pact skill to select one of 3 revive options of their Final Pact skill. I picked the purple one, which has the longest invincibility frame but also has the longest cooldown. When a Dark Knight dies, this skill will activate and they're instantly revived and are invincible for 40 seconds with the purple one selected. The duration of your invincibility is affected by buff duration. This skill does have a 300 second cooldown if you defeat enough monsters or hit the boss monsters enough times to lower it, else it will be a lot longer. It is very hard for boss monsters to defeat a Dark Knight due to their constant life sapping and super long invincibility frames. This combined with their relatively high base stats makes them great bossing mules with plenty of survivability and damage to dish out. And that was the Dark Knight. What do you think of this class? Let me know in the comments. And that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed, and as always, many thanks to our members making these videos possible. Thanks to Niels the Coninck, Raar maar waar, Sebastian, Hanoy, Ryalias, Terry Kim, Vareese, Cowdy Mora, Wiley, Historycanon, BackSpaceOTI, Saffronyx, Anwar, NHI, Ziggy Deer, Flidiet, Knifesu, Chen125, Cloudfix, Gusus Rodriguez, Froggy, Vira, Trevor, Michael Menchaca, Ratius, Justin Vale, Silvio Nato, Stevie Zhang, Afterlord_MS, ceemak, Striker Elk, Tidal1 Pan, Victor Sundstrom, Radical Jaws, Riser RU, Gummy Bullet, Lovebird, 32655, Mathias Simonsson, Mr. Renard, Galando Belavia, PC Game Life, Dante Victory, The Passenger, Martin Panzik, I'm Disappointed, Lucky Beats, Gabriel Eck, Pedro Benedetti, Conrad Crystallis, Ace Light, Ben Wolf, Max Bernhardt, Doc on a Talkerbox, Muka 1017, BNB King, Scotty Flies Fast, Priscilla, Brandon Cam, Shake1, Vake Botnet, Vecco, Gianfranco Calderon Canavero, and Necrodart. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and happy mapling!